welcome back to another episode of La Voz de Duwamish Posible y para Todos. Thank you all for joining me here today. For this week's episode, as you guys can tell, I'm only speaking English, and that's because for this episode, I'm only going to be doing it in English, and it's only going to contain the youth section, which is Los Jóvenes También Hablan. I do have some very exciting content for the other two sections, but we are still working on that, and I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging and skip an episode, so that's why I decided to just do a little episode today on Los Jóvenes También Hablan. This episode is going to be a little bit shorter and something a lot more casual and laid back. I will not be doing an interview today, but I will be speaking personally from personal experience. The topic for this video is going to be 10 things I wish I knew as a high school student. As you guys may or may not know, I am currently a senior in high school. I have about 2 months left of high school, and let's just say these 4 years have definitely taught me a lot. As a high school senior, I definitely want to share a little bit about my experiences and different tips and advice that I wish I had when I was entering high school or even just throughout high school. So this is going to be like a big sister advice video where I'm going to be sharing 10 tips or 10 pieces of advice that I wish I knew as a high school student. Okay, so let's get on to the video. Okay, so I have my notes here because I definitely don't want to overshare or make this a long video because there's a lot of things I definitely want to share with you guys, but I just don't want to make it a long video. I want to be brief. So I do have my notes down here, which is why if you guys see me looking down, that's the reason. Anyways, the first thing I wish I knew as a high school student is to do as much activities as you can and just really be involved with your school, with your community, and any extracurricular activities. You guys don't know how much easier this is just going to make all of your college applications once you're in your senior year, or internship application, job applications, because what these colleges or other applications want to see is that you are very involved in your community or in your school and that you are not just a student. Of course, it's important that one prioritizes school and puts school on the top of their priorities, but of course, we're teenagers, we're allowed to go have fun. We just don't want to spend all of our time studying, so definitely getting involved in as much clubs, extracurricular activities, or just any activity in general is definitely going to help you out in the long run. My second piece of advice is to hang out with the right people and to really find your crew. Transitioning from middle school to high school, or just in general over the high school years, it is very hard to keep a trustworthy friend group because, as we know, high school can be very dramatic, over problematic, and so we definitely don't want to be around those people that are involved in all of the drama, because in the contrary, instead of lifting you up, of helping you become the best version of yourself, of motivating you, they're gonna sink you into all of that drama, and it's honestly not worth it. Find that group of friends where you can have fun, where you guys have a healthy relationship, where they learn to motivate you and uplift you instead of bring you down with them. From a personal experience, I have amazing friends. All of my friends are very supportive of everything I do. This just makes life so much easier in general because those people are supporting me instead of bringing jealousy or problems or drama into my life. They're bringing me motivation and they're just helping me become the best version of myself. I believe the people you hang out with definitely reflects a little bit on your life and how your life is going to be. If you're hanging out with the wrong crew, if they're dramatic, if they're doing things they're not supposed to, like I mentioned, they're going to want to sink you in, bring you in with them. Therefore, your life is just going to become very problematic and dramatic, and we definitely don't want to focus on all of the drama during high school. If you surround yourself with good people, then you will be attracting positive, good energy. Going on to number 3, do things for you and things that you know are going to benefit you. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little bit of my experience and just an example so you guys can just kind of see what I mean. So during my junior year of high school, I was doing the IB diploma. For those of you that don't know, it is an international baccalaureate program diploma, and it's an intense program where you're taking 7 full IB classes. They're very intense. Just a brief definition of what it is. If you guys want to look more into that, definitely go search it up because you can get the full list of what being an IB student is. Anyways, like I mentioned, I was a full IB diploma student and it was hard. It was very hard. I'm going to admit it. It drained me so much. My mental health changed for the worse, and I was just literally felt like I was breaking. It was just becoming too much for me. So what I did is, instead of continuing of putting myself through something where I wasn't comfortable, I switched to Running Start. Let's just say I have not been happier. I'm super happy right now. I'm able to say that I can manage my classes with my personal time, because that's something that I didn't really have during IB. I felt like I really let my personal life go to the side and just focused on school. And as I mentioned, yes, school is very important, but we also have an outside life, and it's important to prioritize other things in your life, just something that IB wasn't letting me do personally. That being said, do things for you. There are going to be other people who tell you other things, who maybe don't support you, but if you know it's the right decision for you and you know you're going to be happier, then put yourself first. It's okay to be selfish once in a while. This kind of goes into my tip number 4, which is don't overwork yourself and really focus on your self-care. Back to the example I gave of my IB experience, I was not putting myself first. I was not sleeping. I was not eating. I stopped doing my skincare, going to the gym, hanging out with friends. And I just overall stopped taking care of myself, which of course this later reflected on my academics, because since I wasn't putting my health and myself first, when it came time to school or assignments, I felt overworked, overdrained, and I just didn't get things done efficiently as I used to. I think this goes not only out to the high school students, also to any student in general. It's important to prioritize yourself, to put yourself first. Make sure you are being taken care of before taking care of other things and other responsibilities. High school can be very draining and overwhelming, especially during junior and senior year. Just please don't let that get in the way of taking care of yourself, because I just cannot stress this enough, how important it is that one learns to take care of themselves and just put yourself first. Tip number 5 would be to try new hobbies and activities. It kind of goes in with the first point I gave of just being involved. And yes, it's very important that you try out new hobbies, new activities. Like I said, it is important to focus in school, but it's also important to try new things and really figure yourself out and what you like. Plus, during these hobbies, you can meet amazing people. You know, I have met some of my closest friends from doing extracurricular activities that don't have to do anything with school. And it's also very important that you do what you're passionate about. After all, I think high school is a time where you're figuring yourself out, what you like, what you don't like, and really take up a hobby where you're happy. And with this hobby, you can just forget about school a little bit and focus on something that you like. Point number 6 would be to get close to all of your teachers, all of the staff, or just as many as professional adults as you can. This is something very, very important. I know a lot of teachers can be a little bit hard to deal with, but always try and be on their good side, because when it comes to grading papers, grading assignments or projects, they remember your name. I'm just telling you that. They will remember your name. They will remember how you are in class, the relationship you have with. And I don't know, they can maybe, put out a little eye there for you. Plus, when it comes to your senior year of high school, or whether you're applying for a job or college applications or anything else, a lot of applications do ask for a letter of recommendation. Usually they prefer or they like it when it's a professor. Really make sure that all of your teachers get to know you well, because you don't know when you're going to need a letter of recommendation from them. I know I have applied for a lot of things, such as obviously college applications, internships, scholarships, programs, and I have gotten in. And I think what has been very helpful is that all of my professors that I have had a close relationship with me, and I've learn to build their trust and really be close with them. So when the time comes of when I ask for a letter of recommendation, they happily accept to write me one. And I've read the letters and they just say amazing things. They really put in the word for you. So definitely get close to all of your teachers and make sure you're on their good side, because it's just gonna make high school a lot easier. Point number 7 is don't pay attention to any of the drama that happens in high school. It literally does not matter. It's so childish and no one is gonna remember it by the end of your senior year or once you graduate. As I mentioned earlier, I know high school is very problematic. It can cause a lot of drama, and at the time it may seem very serious, which in some scenarios it can be, but just try not to pay attention to all of that or let that affect you personally or mentally. Which is why I mentioned to hang out with the right people. You don't want to be hanging out with people who are dramatic or who are bringing drama to you. If you end up being involved with drama, just step away from it. Don't get involved with it. Step away from the people who are involving you in all of this drama, because as I mentioned, it's not important and it's just taking up so much of your time and energy. And I know I would rather prefer to put my time and energy into something else that benefits me rather than putting it in drama. And really, all of the drama that happens in high school, it's so childish. Like I mentioned, no one is going to remember that. During graduation, during prom, push all of that drama outside of your life. Focus on you, on yourself, and I promise you, avoiding all of that drama is going to save you so much energy. Going in with point number 8 is don't be afraid to fail in high school. High school is a moment where you're discovering yourself, and it is normal. You're going to fail, you're going to get a bad grade, but it's okay. It's really not that important. I believe the key to success is failing, because you learn from all of your mistakes. So once you fail, you know what you did wrong. Therefore, in the future, you're gonna avoid doing what you did wrong. And honestly, your failures definitely do not define you as a person. Your grades don't define you as a person. I know when I used to get a bad grade on an exam or a project, I would just torture myself over it. I'd overstress. I just have a mental breakdown. But that's definitely normal. Nobody is perfect. I'm telling you this, nobody is perfect. Even the smartest kid in high school who is at their peak and who seem like they have their life together, who is a straight A student, they're not perfect. There's no doubt that they have their own failures, that they have their own things going on. So just because you're failing at something doesn't mean you're the only one. Plus, like I mentioned, it's normal. No one is perfect. Don't expect to be a perfect high school student star, because that is definitely not going to happen. You are going to have your ups, you are going to have your downs. But at the end of the day, that's what makes the high school experience, right? Because you can take a look back, obviously acknowledge all of your successes, but at the same time, look back at all of your failures and see how long you have come along the way. Point number 9, and it kind of goes into number 10, so we're going to be going in with point number 9 and 10, is to really go to every high school event as you can, whether that's football games, dances, pep rallies, all of those fun events that the high school hosts. Really try to make your best to make it to all of them, because you guys don't know, high school goes by so fast. I know for a lot of you guys, 4 years may seem like a lot and are already drained and just want to get out. I know I'm experiencing some senioritis right now, and I'm like, I just want to get out of high school and be done with it. But truly, high school is such an amazing time. It's where we really get to live our teenage years and still be kids while experiencing a lot of new things. I want to look back to our high school years and think that we really had a positive experience. And as long as you're making smart choices and you're not doing anything that puts yourself or others in danger, go have fun, and I promise you guys, your high school years are going to be memorable. So with this concludes this week's episode of La Voz de Duwamish. Thank you all for tuning in and watching this video. I really hope I was able to help some of you guys, whether that's you're going into high school or you're in high school right now. I know when I was entering high school and even throughout high school, I would love to watch these videos because they're honestly very helpful, very useful. So I'm hoping I was able to help all of you guys. If you guys like this style of video where it's just me talking, giving some advice, definitely let me know because it was very fun to film. I definitely felt like a little YouTuber. I would love to continue to make these kinds of videos for all of you. Don't forget to follow us on our social media and my personal Instagram account as well, so you can give me any feedback, comments. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next episode of La Voz de Tu Amish Posible y para Todos. Bye!